Good evening, everyone. I'm Akash Lopinder. It's wonderful having you back with us. PLPs head into their final night of convention with the party's full leadership team intact. After some last-minute campaigning, hours of voting and counting, Senator Fred Mitchell beat out his former cabinet colleague Obi Welshcombe, his only contender for the chairmanship position. It's a clear enough sign the delegates are pleased with the so-called Brave the Wave team of Davis, Cooper, and Mitchell. It's a campaign PLP leader Philip Davis has been preaching in the run-up to the election of PLP officers, and one he's expected to bring to the podium in his address later this evening. This, of course, on the heels of a stirring address from his deputy leader on Thursday. Our BJ McDermott has that story.
Flanked by exuberant supporters, PLP Deputy Chester Cooper last night sent out a clarion call for action for Bahamians to dismiss the notions of the governing Free National Movement and get on board with the opposition headed in the next general election. His hour-long speech abbreviated by crowd applauses and responses, Mr. Cooper promised the PLP government would broaden access to capital for small to medium-sized businesses, investing in them $250 million over 5 years.
We don't need to stand by waiting on the world's approval whilst they make billions of dollars from this industry. We don't have to overthink it to stop criminalizing our young man for having a joint. We can expunge those records now. We can change the law now. We can move forward on this issue now. Right now.
Mr. Cooper went on to foreshadow a policy to achieve solar and other renewables for the grid by 2030, 2040, and 2050. He also touched on marijuana, noting that under a PLP government, there would be no need for long, drawn-out committees to decide whether to legalize its medicinal use.
We can leap forward and embark on a mission of economic empowerment of our people, fostering an environment where we own our Bahamas and where we create hundreds of millionaires like you and you and you.
Tonight's keynote speaker, party leader Philip Davis. Reporting for JCN News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Now, party supporters also heard from Engliston MP Glennis Martin, the only female PLP MP and the only PLP to have secured a seat here in New Providence in the 2017 general elections. Mrs. Hannah Martin admonishing supporters that the party should never be seen to be about the small and the petty, nor should it be seen to cannibalize its members or to be the playground of power for its own sake.
This party has positioned itself in the lives of our people as the political force that for the first time ever coalesced to people, organized resistance to oppression, was at the vanguard for the right of women to vote, the champion of democracy for previously enslaved people, as seen in January 10, 1967. It is also the political force that, on obtaining political power, initiated and drove fundamental progress in the form of universal access to education, universal access to health care, the creation of a social safety net.
While many of the country's great heroes have come out of the PLP, Mrs. Hannah Martin reminded that the party is bigger than any individual. Well, it would seem that among those tuning into the PLP's first night of convention last evening was the Free National Movement, who in a statement condemned the opposition as looking like an old, angry, tired party with nothing to offer. With no new ideas, the PLP's only objective, read the statement, is to get back in power to again raid the Treasury. Taking direct aim at PLP Deputy Chester Cooper, the FNM charged that the opposition is now nothing more than a business for rich PLPs, and Mr. Cooper is part of an organization Bahamians cannot trust. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.